So the first book I read was Ali Abdaal's Feel Good Productivity book. It was really good. His entire YouTube channel is all about productivity, so him writing a book just made sense. So I picked it up because my library had it, and I enjoyed it. It was a pretty quick listen. I mainly listened to it, so I'll put this down. Reflecting on it now, I don't have anything that sticks out of my brain too much. The biggest takeaway was his quarterly quests, which is not very different from the 12-week year. That book basically says, forget yearly goals. Ask yourself, how much can you do in 12 weeks? If you generally divide the year up by 4, you get a quarter. So, and he even mentions that he took this idea from that book, which I've already read that book, so that wasn't groundbreaking. But not much else was really gleamed from this book. It was just a really nice listen to have in the beginning of the year where my mind is all about productivity and doing more and setting goals. So because of that, I gave it 3 stars. However, if you have not read any productivity book in a really long time, I would highly recommend it because you might get a 4 or 5. But for me, I've already read several productivity books, so this is more of a 3. The next book I read, or reread, was The Untethered Soul. This I read a couple years back. I really loved it. It was insightful and spiritual. And I'm not religious or anything, but I'm slightly spiritual. And back then I gave it 5 stars. And rereading it, it is still a 5 star. First time I read it, it was novel and interesting and a perspective I had never taken. On rereading it, certain chapters really stuck out to me. The biggest one, the one I could incorporate into my life, was the chapter on letting go. He talks about some scars where you'll be having a really great day and all of a sudden something will trigger a bad memory and it'll completely affect your mood and it might affect the rest of the day, and that happens because we don't let go of these some scars. Hearing that and even a summary doesn't quite ingrain into your brain that you need to let go. And saying let go is overly simplified. It's just one of those. The book does a much better job than I'm doing right now, which is why I would highly recommend this book. The first time around, I read it physically, and then this time around, I reread it in an audiobook. Still very impactful. It's a very short book, but yeah, I think it's one of those books that I might reread every couple of years or so. And maybe I'll be in a different part in my life where one chapter matters more than the other. First time around, the biggest chapter that affected me was the uninvited roommate, or I thought that chapter was very effective in not letting your intrusive thoughts kind of take over. Not assuming that what you're thinking in your brain is in fact you. It's just one of those, it's an uninvited roommate. That was first time I read it. This time around it was the let go, because the more you hold on to these some scars, the bigger effect it has in affecting your mood or your day. But yeah, 5 stars. Love it. Highly recommend. Probably reread it. The last book I read is $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan. This I read in ebook and audiobook form. It was a pretty good book. I picked it up because obviously I'm an Ali Abdaal fan. I'm subscribed to his channel. I watch all his videos. So he recommended this book. And so my thoughts, it's a pretty good book. This is a continuation of one of his videos that he made. Put on the screen, I don't remember the name. This and basically a bunch of books that you should read regarding a business. And so I started that reading journey last year, but I never talked about those books. But this was a continuation, and this one, pretty good. Can't really remember what was all that impactful other than start your business and do it ASAP, especially if you're thinking of owning a business or having a business or just get the LLC. Well, one of the biggest takeaways was find your customers first and then build a business on that. Which sounds like a good idea. He does give some examples. It wasn't my favorite. More impactful book, from my perspective, was The Millionaire Fastlane, which I read last year. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars. It was pretty good. It gives you a very different mind shift in how to think of a business. But this book, and compared to that book, I think that book was a lot better. That book was more impactful for me. That made me think of my time differently and how I see my time being spent. And Ali Abdaal has already reviewed this book. It's really good. However, $1 Million Weekend kind of adds to that, but he's more just start your business, and that was the most I really got from this book. He goes over like working for Facebook and something, which is more more of a name drop than anything, which I don't care for. My expectation of this book was more, here are the tools you can implement right now. Whereas it was more, hey, do this one thing and maybe some of this stuff. Here's what I've done. And that's kind of it. Which, because of that, I only gave 3 stars. But anyways, these are the books I read in this reading vlog. Pretty good reads. Great reread. Beginning of the year is usually a slow start, so I didn't expect a huge stack. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.